Over the past month, I've been able to scale my social media marketing agency to $10,000 a day. Here's proof of that. Boom, boom. And what I want to do in this video is I want to share with you the strategy that I use to get my agency to that point, so that by the end of the video, you can walk away with tangible strategies you can implement right now into your agency to achieve a similar outcome. When it comes to social media marketing agency, traditionally, you can go down two routes. You can go down the local business route, or you can go down the e-commerce route. Now, very briefly, if your social media marketing agency services local businesses, what you're doing for these companies is you're getting them leads. Now, a lead is a prospect, is a potential buyer, but they're not a customer. And I'll explain why this matters in just a second. Because when it comes to e-commerce, what we're doing for these companies is we're getting people to literally take out their card and pay for something on their website. And the reason why these are two very different things is because when you're doing social media marketing for local businesses, you cannot really clearly tell them how much money you've spent and how much money you've generated for them. Why? Because at the end of the day, you're getting them leads, but a lead is not money. They still have to close the lead themselves, which is a little bit tricky because if they cannot close the leads, then it's your fault and you're not making the money, and thus your service is not very much needed and they're not going to keep you around for a long time. But that's a whole conversation in and of itself. However, what you need to understand about e-commerce on the flip side is that we can clearly tell them how much money we've spent for them and how much money we've generated for them. The real reason why I'm explaining this difference is because part of the reason why I'm able to have 10K days with my social media marketing agency is the fact that I'm within the e-com space. I probably wouldn't be able to do it if I was doing this for local businesses, at least not in the stress-free, low complexity way that I like to run my agency. And we'll talk about that in just a second. One of the reasons why I'm able to have those $10,000 plus days with my social media marketing agency is simply because I put myself in the right vehicle first. And that's because when it comes to running an e-commerce marketing agency, there are pretty cool ways of structuring the deals, ways that our clients absolutely love and make them a lot of money, and also ways that make us a lot of money. The first way is obviously with the fixed fees. So to every single deal that I have with a client, regardless of the performance-driven incentive, regardless of a percentage of ad profit, which I'll talk about in just a second, regardless of any other commission-based pricing, I'm always gonna have the fixed fee. And the simple reason why that is because people have to pay attention. I found that if you only work on commission, they just don't have enough skin in the game to really make this worthwhile, because when it comes to a social media marketing agency, they need to understand that we're not just this, outsider that, they can just delegate the service to, right? We very much want to be a partnership, especially with an e-commerce brand. We are partners coming into their ecosystem and we're going to help them scale the brand to the moon, but they need to understand that. And so when a client pays, they're going to pay much more attention and they're going to be much more involved. If we need something from them, if we need them to make a little tweak to the landing page or a little tweak to a creative, they're probably going to be much more likely to do it because they're invested. Now, the really cool thing about those fixed fees is that when it comes to an e-commerce marketing agency, they're higher than usual for a number of reasons. The fact that when it comes to e-commerce, they typically have higher profit margins than any other industry within the local business space. Thus, they have more resources to allocate to the growth month to month. And the other key factor why we can typically charge higher fixed fees for e-com clients is the fact that for them, this service is not an opportunity. It's not something that it'd be cool to do or a cool opportunity to grow. It is literally a necessity. It is vital for them. They understand that there's really only two ways of getting eyeballs on their brand: organic, which is a little bit of a grind for most e-com founders, and paid ads. When it comes to a local business, for example, they have street traffic, they have geographical limitations. For example, if you have a dentist very nearby, you're probably going to be much more inclined to go to that dentist. Same thing with a gym, for example, right? And so local businesses and other types of businesses that are not e-commerce, they can rely on other ways of generating traffic and getting customers. But when it comes to e-commerce businesses, this is really it, right? And so they already have a line dedicated to paid ads even before they start their business, right? They've already allocated funds in their head, right? They've already allocated a budget to paid ads even before they thought of growing their business, right? And so those are two key things that you want to keep in mind why those fixed fees tend to be quite juicy, right? Typically, the average that I see is anywhere between 3 to 5K per month on fixed fees alone. So that's the first way that I price, which has also allowed me to have those 10K per month days. The fact that we can charge those higher fixed fees. But the second way that I charge is really where the money is made: the ad profit deal. A lot of people in the space talk about ROAS deals. They talk about revenue shares, etc., etc. The best way of charging a client a percentage of what you make them that I've personally seen and that clients absolutely love is something that I call the ad profit deal. Now, the way we calculate ad profit is ad revenue minus ad spend, how much we spend on the ads for our clients, minus the cost of goods sold, right? Because if we generate them more money, if we sell them more products, there's going to be more cost attached to that, minus our service fee. When you subtract all that from the ad revenue, how much money you've generated through the ads, you get the ad profit. That is pure profit we've put into their pockets, right? Without us, they wouldn't have that. And so we can take a pretty large chunk of that. We can take anywhere between 50 to even 30 to 40% of the ad profit every single month. What I've seen is that clients absolutely love this because you have skin in the game. And we love it because essentially it grows month to month as we scale the ad spend. And it is literally the closest thing to passive income, because as we scale the ad spend, how much we're spending on ads for our clients, as we scale that, the complexity doesn't really increase. It doesn't really get much harder to get results for our clients, yet the money that we make increases simply because the more money we spend on ads, the more money we're typically going to generate our client, if we even keep the same sort of ROAS in place, right? The same sort of multiplier in place as we continue to scale. So that grows month on month. And that's why we've had clients start at 3K fixed fee, right? And the income from that client grow to 10K plus per month, simply because we have the fixed fee in place, and then we have the ad profit, which, really is where the money is made. And the really cool thing is that with e-commerce, it is almost infinitely scalable. With a local business, you can only get them a certain amount of leads every single month until they have to open up a new restaurant or a new gym, and most local business founders are not going to want to do that, right? But with an e-com brand, you can take them from 6 to 8 figures, right? Yes, a few things are going to break here and there, but it's infinitely scalable, right? And so this ad profit deal can literally grow to the moon as you continue to scale the brand. And the third way that has allowed me to take my agency to 10K plus per month of days is the cross sell. The cross sell is this very unique thing that you can do with your e-commerce marketing agency that we've done for almost all our clients. I would say around 70% of our clients, for sure, we've done cross sells to. And that is, once you have them through the door with your flagship service, let's just say your flagship service is Facebook ads, right? So that is the service that you first offered your clients within the e-com space. Once you have them through the door, and you start giving them free consultations on a bunch of different components of the sales funnel, right? Because, one of the things you need to keep in mind, one of the things that I talk about in my channel is the fact that you shouldn't just look at e-commerce growth from a Facebook ad lens, right? And so you should be giving them free consultations on your landing page, right? On conversion rate optimization, maybe a few very, basic email flows that they can put in place, because that's going to allow you to make them even more money, which translates into more money for you because of the ad profit deal. But I digress, right? Once you've been doing this for a few months and they've seen that you can actually crush it with your flagship service, the easiest sell that you will find is a cross sell, right? Not a new client, but just simply cross-selling your clients to new services. I'm gonna add a screenshot here as well from one of my students who talks about how he's been able to grow his e-com agency just mainly through cross sells, right? Just selling more to his existing clients. And for them, it's a no-brainer because clients love to just have one agency take care of pretty much the whole thing, right? The whole marketing thing. They don't want to have a bunch of different marketing agencies communicating back and forth and just having this communication overhead, right? So they just love when one single agency takes care of the whole full picture, right? Because there's really no communication overhead there. And not only that, but you can just increase the value of each client. And so the easiest cross-sell that, for example, we've done is to email marketing. So we'll get them through the door, mainly with paid ads, and then we'll cross-sell them to email marketing. And we'll sell the email marketing for maybe 2,500, 3K, 4K, sometimes just with a percentage of profit from email marketing. But obviously we have the fixed fee for our flagship service. And it's just such a blissful way of scaling your agency without adding much complexity to it, just increasing the value of each client. And that leads me to the final point, which I wouldn't have been able to scale to 10K per month without, which is scaling without much complexity. There's something about making money, right? And there's something about making money stress-free and being able to actually not only enjoy the money you're making, having time, location freedom to travel, to, enjoy it with your loved ones, but also just being like, from a mental health standpoint, right? Just being stress-free. And for most agencies, getting to 30K per month profit would mean 10 to 15 clients. And let that sink in. The complexity of handling 10 to 15 done for you agency clients is quite a bit, right? And so sure, you're making all this money, but you're working a lot of hours and it's quite stressful. And not only that, but the difficulty is just a little bit higher because you need to have 10 to 15 people that you've convinced to onboard, right? When you structure the deal in the way that I just talked about and the way we do it, where you have the fat fixed fees, right? Then you have your ad profit deals, which make most of the money. And then you're cross-selling your existing customers because you have a 360 approach when it comes to e-commerce growth. Scaling your agency becomes a lot of fun, right? Because you're making quite a lot of money from each client. So you have high value clients, you don't have a lot of volume. And the best thing is that month to month, it typically just grows simply because you keep spending more for your clients because they're seeing the results that you're getting them. So that is that for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, drop a massive thumbs up. It helps a lot with the algorithm. And the final thing is, if you want more free trainings just like this and even more in depth, I am going live on my free Facebook mastermind pretty much every single day. I'm doing those trainings exclusively there for that community. And so if you want to go ahead and apply, there's going to be a link in the description. It is completely free of charge. There's going to be a few questions there. And if you're a good fit, we'll let you in. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.